Hey all, this is Mark for Faith on Tap. There's no shortage of thoughts on what the world needs and what it would be better off without. It is a deeply human characteristic to notice and care about this. In fact, right now, with everyone's sensitivities worldwide focused on politics and religion, that may feel very close to the surface.
I think getting rid of things is a very subjective subject, and it's really based in the times. Right now, I thought, well, what I get rid of out of the world? Politics. Like the divisiveness of politics, and now, of course, that's just a total swan song of an idea.
In fact, we can feel this oppression of this to a strong degree. Constantly surrounded by loud and distilled opinions may not be helping.
Your opinion isn't different; it's wrong, and it's an empty hole that we've dug ourselves, and that we are continually digging deeper. I don't see us ever hitting the bottom and going, okay, let's focus on moving up and not deeper down into the pit.
And the Christian voice, if aligned with a meek Christ and a humble heart, may not be heard. Likewise, the message accompanied with accusations and pride will also not be heard.
I don't think the world sees it as good news. I mean, anything that contradicts me, my desire, my pretense, my direction is wrong. It's evil. It's I'm me. I'm an individual. And so I don't think the world wants to hear that you're a sinner.
This may sound a bit bleak, but we promise you it gets a lot better. And it may just start with you. And with me. Next, on Faith on Tap. Let's go. We are here at Relic Brewery in Plainville, Connecticut. And, well, we have two people who are very full right now, and one person not so much. I had a nice Nashville chicken sandwich, nice and spicy chicken. The fries were wet and soggy. They're pretty nasty, but the chicken was good. Would you have, Liz?
I had a buffalo chicken wrap, also with nasty fries.
You had the nasty fries.
But we did not get them from here. If anyone's thinking that it's here, no, they're serving napkins today.
What's your meal, Dennis?
Well, Thursdays here at the Relic, they don't do any kitchen affair, so I've ordered a sesame chicken combination platter from Lee's Chinese Garden, and it's not here yet. We're waiting.
It's going to be incredible, though.
It's going to be
It should be for $22 from DoorDash.
All right.
35 with a tip. And we're going to be asking a question today. Should be an interesting one. I'm not sure what people are going to say, but what is something that you would like to remove from this world?
No, what do you think is missing? Wasn't that the first part you wanted to do?
Whatever you want. I could do both. What's missing from this world, or what would you like to remove from this world? I think hopefully we'll get some good depth. We don't have a lot of people that are too deep into the drinking here, so hope to get something decent. Your thoughts?
I think it'll be a very personal answer, pet peeve-esque, like this is what I want to see, man buns or something like that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to get political.
I think it might get, with diseases, a lot of people who have been suffering or had loved ones suffering. I'm going to see those diseases come up wanting to be.
Yeah, probably. So it's kind of a mix between, it'll be personal, but it'll be something that's applicable.
Well, let's see what we can do with these questions. What's something in this world that you'd like to see removed? Or you can answer, what's in this world that's missing that you'd like to add? Either way.
I mean, just people in general, I guess.
There is something.
Right?
Yeah. Do you think most people under that category, what percentage of people would you put under that category? Yeah.
I don't know, 60% of people are
60% are That's a lot of people.
Right?
Yeah, that's sad.
Am I wrong?
Is this from your experiences at work or all throughout?
Just the world in general.
The world in general.
I guess.
You're pretty negative on this world.
No, I don't know. I feel like I'm actually pretty positive most of the time. I don't know.
You're just positive. There's a lot of people in this world.
there are
That's
a lot.
Person. I mean, he's one of the 40%. Well, we all are sometimes, but if there's less mean people, we'd be a lot better off.
Yeah.
That's what you're going with. I'll take that. That's good. Okay, what's your first name?
Chris.
What is something that you'd like to see in this world just be removed?
Organized religion.
Okay, and let's go with that. What's wrong with organized religion?
The people who organize it.
The higher-ups?
The fundamental principles are usually all across the board akin, yet it somehow becomes prejudicial, even though their underlying fundamentals tend to be similar. Like everybody likes the idea of a decent moral code, but there's too many people in the mix. Too many people use it for power.
So are you talking about all different types of religions?
Yes.
All different types of religions that are organized.
Yeah.
Do you believe in a higher power of sorts?
Not really. I mean, maybe. I can't say no.
But if there was, he wouldn't be organized people around it. You think anything that's organized starts to get political and nasty?
Polluted by the people who are organizing it, yeah. I mean, even if the idea was real in its foundational elements, once people take it and run with it, it gets corrupted.
Perverts it. Yeah. There's probably a lot of truth to that. Any thoughts of it could religion be pure without people?
I mean, without people?
Yeah, without people.
Then who knows? I mean, without people to even perceive it one way or the other.
Say there was a God. Say there's no organized religion. Just people disbelieved in God. Could that be okay?
I think so. I feel like Native American Indians tapped into it better than, and certainly maybe Buddhists and things like, whenever there's wealth, money, or whatever currency in whatever part of the world at whatever time, once you start to go past like a natural order of things and bring in the corrupted perversions of money and all the other things and power, that's when it goes sideways. And so not to say, like, I would assume the Native Americans, a bunch of tribes all had different things. Even though they warred amongst each other, they just tended to have similar, not pacifistic beliefs. They were just more in tune with nature. But but they were more in tune with nature in general, and what they worship reflected that versus a powerful being that chooses this person on earth to represent them, but they get voted in as they go and die and whatnot. I don't know.
Now, do you think anything organized, like businesses, could also are mostly evil? That's
I don't know if they're mostly evil, but pretty much wherever you have people in any sort of hierarchy, it usually goes bad. Yeah, are there good places? Sure.
And there's good people, and there actually could be some good religious leaders. It's possible.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't think they're all bad. Like, just because somebody's a Catholic or a Protestant or a Jew or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think that you believing in the faith makes it bad.
It's just that people who are going to be drawn to greed and all those other.
And then they tend to, those in power want to stay in power, so they help fanaticize their own beliefs.
Okay. I can respect that.
Catholics are just as fanatical as fanatical Muslims. Hence all the
I think
the Catholic Church
fanaticism in itself is not negative unless it hurts people, right?
Yeah.
You could be very fervent in your belief as long as you're not hurting people.
Right. The problem is whether it's power, usually comes from hurt.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I do. What's your name?
My name is William.
Okay. Wayne?
William.
I was close.
I mean, I agree with what you said. You got too many organized people. Eventually, they're going to want to be the best out of everybody. And that sports competition, which competition for everybody means there's going to be a loser and a bunch of people who don't win. That makes it negative for everybody else.
So it's always negative if you lose?
I mean, it in a sorts. I mean, like, it depends on the stakes. I do partially,
but you're not big on sports.
Not big.
So the idea that there's winners and losers, you don't like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, like you lose. But I mean, it depends on the stakes. Like losing could be used in different terms, like losing a competition or losing a job. So,
or what if two people are going after the same woman? There's gonna be a loser and a winner.
Yeah, I mean, sports competition, but like it could change the way things go. But I mean, in that case, at the end of the day, there's always more people to find, more people you could find interesting. So running after one person's going to get it.
So what is it that you'd want to remove? The idea there being winners and losers, or you'd get rid of competition? What is it that you'd really want to get rid of?
I thought of this. There is no good way to get rid of competition.
Okay, so that was kind of cool. So you first thought about that, but then you found thinking over. You really can't get rid of it. Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
but it's not a good thing.
But you're saying, even if there was a way there could not be competition.
If there was a way,
equal, and okay.
And while people are still enjoying it as well, like, because I mean, you could have where everything's equal, the people just suffer. That wouldn't be as good.
So, like, grades and
yeah, there's like a moral line to it. I mean, it depends on who you are and what you believe in as well, because you could believe that like no matter what happens, as long as everything's equal, it's good. Just because
is that what you believe?
I don't know. I think like no matter what, it'll carry on. So like if one person wins or one person loses, you could still find a way to come back from that.
What is missing from society today?
I want to say time, but it's more attention. I feel like we're so busy and so quick to move forward to the next thing. I don't think we really dig deep into a topic or a subject or a conversation or getting to know. So I feel like we're missing that point because it's so easy and simple to just reach for our phone and get a quick dopamine fix or a quick look or a quick read that we agree on. And I think it takes time to really get to know something, and that is something that's lacking.
We're missing connection. We're missing depth of relationship. We're missing even depth of a conversation.
Yeah, and it is, you see so many terrible tragedies going on in the world and everything seems so negative. And even with COVID, we've become so isolated. I think we've lost that understanding of who people are and what we all want at the end. And
do you think that this trend in your mindset is reversible?
I would hope so. I believe it is if we put an effort into it.
And what does that effort look like?
Just giving a little more time to people, to give, like, for example, this, just giving a person an opportunity to show who they really are and give people chances. And even just a simple word or a simple tone of voice can change someone's day. And I think if we just stand up for each other and just have a moment of gratitude and just keep each other going, because it's hard these days. And
it is.
I think just a simple kind word or words of affirmation is important.
Did you grow up with that mindset? Like, were you taught that, or is that something you discovered later on in life?
It's a great question. I was taught about morals, but I never understood why. And I think as I grew old, I put that together myself of this is who I want to be and how I want to carry myself. So I think I had the rooted foundation of morals and manners, and they should always open the door for someone. But I took it more personal and more, it just feels right for me. And as I get older, I see what it does for people. And most importantly, I see what it does for myself. And if someone opens the door, well, for example, just they open the door, something simple. Something as simple as just opening the door for someone, it makes you feel better. It makes you want to do something more for someone. So if I felt that way, who else is going to feel that way after me? So just kind of carrying that forward.
It's that attitude of paying it forward.
Paying it forward, yes. Just brightening someone's day in some way, or just treating someone in that.
If I can go biblical, treat someone like you want to be treated.
Exactly.
Right.
Treat someone that, and I feel like sometimes that's hard to do. Or we just say it's not acknowledged as much. So.
And now you think it's that mindset of, so we lack that connection. Do you think it's geographical? So we're in like New England. Do you think the South is a little different, or maybe the Midwest or the West? Or is it just a human condition?
Probably a little bit of all of that. I just think that I feel like really since COVID too, we've been so isolated into our phones, and it almost set up a platform of we're finding our own beliefs. We're not reaching out and having a group of people to talk about things and hear other perspectives. So my belief is now my belief, and that's it.
Right.
And we form that idea in isolation, and we are there for our own selves, and we build that trust for our own selves, and it makes it a little less or a little more difficult to trust someone else and have that conversation and just be open-minded to other ideas. And that could be geography, or that could just be differences. And I think once we break down those barriers, then we do find the root of who people really are and what they want. And we find it's very similar. It's just how we go about it. Could be a little louder, a little quieter, or a little more aggressive, or so it's just kind of putting off your judgment a little longer than your initial reaction and just giving someone a chance.
It sounds like that would be almost the first step in this reconnection. Put away your judgment.
Just put away your judgment for a little bit.
Just
for a conversation.
And hear the person out.
Just hear the person out. I could say we all are going through things, and some might feel it's every day is a struggle. Some might feel it's a little easier, but we all want to be heard, and we all want to be loved and valued. And at the end, they understood. And I think to be understood, you have to give someone a little time, because to be understood is deep, and it's not just your clothes you're wearing or your smile or.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
This is
Roger,
amazing.
right?
Reggie.
Okay, Ryan, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is something that you think the world lacks?
Kindness, appropriate healthcare.
Oh.
I think things have become too much too much business-like.
Is there something that you've personally done in some sort of way to help combat this?
We both met working on an ambulance. We've seen all of it. We've seen people that are struggling for whatever reasons, not being able to afford medications and stuff like that. So I think that's a big one. That
all we can really do is, stuff at our personal level or work towards something that we could do statewide or even nationwide. What would you like to see? How would that manifest for you?
I think the whole healthcare system needs to be rebuilt, to be honest.
Tell me what would you take away from it?
Easier access.
Okay.
For everybody. My wife here, Jackie, she was working part-time on the ambulance while I was working full-time. I had insurance, but she was not offered insurance until they were forced to give it to her because she was working X number of hours as a part-timer.
Okay.
She had no insurance whatsoever.
Is there something that you would like to take away from the world that you think the world would be better without?
Greedy people. Yeah. Money. Yeah.
If we go back to barter system?
No, I don't think it's to that point, but I think too much greed in the world.
Okay.
It dictates too much.
All right.
It controls too much.
In what way? Give me a specific example where you see this.
Like I said, healthcare, housing, rental properties being bought up by big companies, and people can't afford to live anymore. We're fortunate that we bought a house in 2015.
Yeah.
Interest rates were low and the houses were cheaper.
Yep.
We don't have any student loans, but I can't imagine somebody with student loans looking for a house right now. So
yeah, that's a big burden for people in that situation. Thank you for
no problem
playing our dumb little game here.
No problem. Anytime.
Okay, so Jackie, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is something that is missing from the world? You mentioned in our last question, generosity of spirit or kindness. Is there something else that you think might be missing?
I think that there should be more family-oriented things to do in towns and places to take kids. There's not enough of that going on. So I would definitely think that there needs to be more things for kids.
And how old are your two little muffins over there?
Devin is 1 and Levi is just turned 4. So I wish there was something a little bit more for the youth because they say it takes a village to raise kids. And it's really true.
Yeah, and a lot of places aren't built as villages anymore. They're built as city outposts.
And I grew up in a terrible neighborhood. And growing up, we had free Boys and Girls Club, free YMCA. But for places like Southington or richer areas, there's nothing free. Sometimes that's not fair.
Is there something that you think the world has that you think the world would be better without?
Men.
Your whole family is men right now.
I know. This is true. It's true. I guess violence. I wish the world wasn't so violent. That's something that I wish we didn't have.
It would be definitely a world worth, I was going to say a world worth fighting for, but that's kind of like goes against the whole thing. A world worth hoping for.
Yes, it is. It's not likely, but that's something that I wish life was like.
I mean, here in Plainville, it doesn't seem like we have to deal with it much, certainly from day to day, but we are constantly bombarded with it.
I mean, look at what happened in Idaho, where the 4 young individuals that were killed. That was pretty terrible.
Yes.
So that, things happen that shouldn't happen.
But thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And we're back. Hey, Liz, what is new on the farm?
Mark, I'm so mad.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Oh, the goats ate my to-do list, so I guess we're freestyling today, and the tractor's demanding a raise.
All right. Well, and to my left, I have who we all refer to as the nomad of nurture.
Wow, there's a tension between those two words,
Yeah.
nomad and nurture. Just because of the tension it caused in my spirit, I'm going to take it.
I like the nomad part. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. It feels like I'm just like
You're all over central Connecticut nurturing people.
I'm just spraying with shotgun shots out there. Just
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You know where that was going.
Okay. And on that note, good night, everyone.
Well, so the question that we asked our people is, what is something missing or what should we remove from the world? I don't know. I forgot what we thought would happen. I'm usually on the negative side, something not too deep. And
I thought it would get political myself.
Yeah. Well, we got a little bit political, but not much.
Yeah, not so much.
But let's talk about what people said. I had the pleasure of talking to, I talked to Heather and Chris about this, and Heather did some thinking and she realized that it was just crappy people. If we got rid of she said 60% of the world is filled with crappy people.
Mm-hmm.
And if we got rid of them, the world would be perfect. And
wait, who gets to judge the level of crap?
Heather. Yeah, I didn't ask for a definition of that in terms of crappy people. I guess people who are mean, maybe mean-spirited.
And again, they're who's gauging that. I find that interesting.
When we talked to Chris, he was against all organized religion. I mean, to his credit, I think there is some pushback when you say, that when something gets big and there's, leadership and there's a big organization, it's ripe for bad stuff happening. We have seen that a lot. And
if there's no checks and he's right. If there are no checks and balances.
He did say it wasn't religion in itself. He was saying that it's just when it's organized, when it gets bad. And then he also thought businesses fall in that same umbrella where if it's big, it can get corrupted. Again,
it's true.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
I might not agree as much when he went to how pure the Native Americans and the Buddhists may be. And I think I could push back a little bit more on that because a lot of Native Americans were extremely violent and there had a lot of problems. That wasn't the discussion we had. I had a talk with William, and William thought the competition was bad. And then when he further discussed it, he said, competition, there's no way to get rid of it. And it's not bad. I don't know what else to say.
I think William was torn in his perspectives.
There was a lot of moral relativism.
Yeah. I think he realized halfway standing on his ground that he didn't have anything to really base it upon.
Yeah, very shifting sand kind of thing.
I think it sounded good that, if there's no winning or losing, imagine there's no heaven type stuff. And then,
no trophies or everyone gets one.
Yeah. We had a talk with Reggie.
Yeah. He wished that, or he hoped that what was missing from the world was real connection, real relationship, real below the surface, recognizing people want to be valued and heard. And he was a teacher, and so he emphasizes relationship before he brings the data. So it was squishy.
As an educator, it's building a relationship with students is very, very important.
I would think so. Yeah.
And so I can
him
see
being
that.
in the 4th grade with that young mindset, I think it's even more important.
Yeah, they're all 10. They're all just trying to.
And he was a reflective guy, but I can see he wore his heart on his sleeve. He was just very like, the world's broken, we need to fix it, and it's about relationship.
Right.
Can't disagree with any of that.
Right, exactly.
And Liz, you had the pleasure of talking to both Ryan and Jackie.
So Ryan, he said what was missing is kindness, and then when I asked him to expound, he says, well, we really need universal and appropriate health care, and what's missing is, easier access to that kind of stuff. He says, I guess basically, I think he was just being a little narrow in what he was saying, but he's like, we need to take care of our people. That's a very gracious thought.
It is.
I think because of his history in healthcare, that's how he narrowed it.
Mm-hmm.
But, this graciousness of spirit is like, we need to physically take care of people. And if we take care of their physical needs.
There's bigger questions when you start that. Who's paying for it?
Right.
And no one's going to stand here and agree that our health system is the best. But there's no health system around the world that's good. They all have major flaws.
Yeah, ours is, of all the worst ones in the world, ours is the best.
Yeah.
It's true.
So, and I have a feeling Ryan would agree because he still works in the healthcare system. And Jackie, she had 2 small little buttons there. They were 1 and 3, and they were super cute running around. And so, as a mom of young kids, she was really focused on what it would take to have what she mentioned. It takes a village kind of structure to make.
She was talking about having more family-oriented things to do.
Having ways for not just her young kids, but she was also talking about older kids as well. Things for them to do and to be part of a community, and not just be set into the wild.
And I do remember when we had
disagree with her.
Yeah, when we had 3 kids, we're looking for things to do, and it's like there wasn't a lot of things to do.
No,
you had to make things,
and that was 30-something years ago, and Jackie's going through that now. And it's when you are in the throes of young motherhood, you feel that pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with her.
Most of the thoughts were provoking. So, what is it that you want removed and why? My first thought would be, right from the get-go, would be horse flies, deer flies, mosquitoes, and ticks. There's nothing worse than, you're walking along in a hike and this horsefly just comes up and bites you in 3 seconds and leaves. It's like, gets you mad that you don't kill it.
They are fast little buggers.
I don't know if you have any, that's more of a pet peeve than things I think are removed from the world. And I wanted to approach it a little bit differently, just because as Christians, we would probably focus on evil in the world. And instead of all of us saying evil, 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 I thought maybe I could approach it by asking this way. So when you want something removed from the world, when we think about why do we want it removed, what's the purpose of the removal? So why is it that we want certain things removed?
It's probably selfishness, self-centeredness for the most part. Unless you go big with evil, like you said, like everybody wants evil.
But why do you want evil removed?
So I don't experience it.
Why?
Or my children don't experience
Why?
it. Or because because it's evil.
It's to make life easier.
Or easy, or comfortable.
Right.
Or safer.
Less complicated.
I had a different perspective. I think getting rid of things is a very subjective subject, and it's really based in the times. Right now, I thought, well, what I get rid of out of the world? Politics. Like the divisiveness of politics, and now, of course, that's just a total swan song of an idea, and it's never going to happen.
Yeah, it's a John Lennon song.
Exactly. Yeah. But to remove the contention that is in our society now. Now, before 2016, I would have had a completely different answer. I don't know what it would be, but it would be completely different because it wasn't an issue then. I had friends who were on the other side of the aisle from me, and it just didn't matter.
Yeah. So I disagree with you in politics anyways.
Yeah.
So what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, what do you want for dinner?
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yeah. Well, I guess the reason why I went this way is that we want things that make life easier, more. But is that the best way to live a Christian life? Is to have things easier? And I bring this up a lot. It's when Johnny Erickson Tada was interviewed, when she was asked, "What's the problem? Why is there suffering?" She turned it around and she goes, "I think the problem is that there's too much health and prosperity, because what drove me closer to God was the pain, was the suffering. And I feel bad for the people who don't have that and have everything easy. They don't find God." And that stuck with me a whole lot. I don't know if you have thoughts on that.
I was going to actually go the same way. I was thinking the same thing. It's actually these broken parts of the world that make people more aware that then they say, wait a minute, this isn't correct. And the reason they say that, even if they don't believe in God, there's this intrinsic sense of what's good and what's bad. C.S. Lewis, we've been reading Mere Christianity, and y'all do that. And
twice.
Yes. And then more. This whole idea that humans have an intrinsic sense of right and wrong. And if everything's good, they're not going to experience this, like you mentioned, this tension between how they actually, regardless of where they are on the I believe God spectrum, they know that there's a right way for things to be and a wrong way for things to be. And if there is none of that tension, no one will be driven to God. So very, very similar to what you said in just bringing C.S. Lewis into the mix, because always a good thing.
And I guess a follow-up, which is a very similar idea, if we do want something removed, are we assuming that an all-loving, powerful God allowed this in the first place to occur? Are we questioning God's design? I made light of mosquitoes and ticks and stuff like that.
But did they bite before the fall?
I hate that question.
Yeah.
Okay. So you talked about Johnny Erickson, and I'll bring up Corrie ten Boom again. When she was in Dachau with her sister, the entire place that they were living in the barracks was nothing but fleas. Just a mat. It was so horrible. And Corrie was like, "These fleas, I just can't. Why would God fill this whole place with fleas?" And her sister Betsy says, "Do you notice that none of the soldiers come in here? We are allowed to have Bible studies in here because the fleas are keeping the enemy out."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Good grief. How can you even?
It's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
And so she just saw something beautiful and providential and something that her own sister, Corrie, was like horrified and furious with God about. And then Betsy was like, "No, it's actually, this is a blessing from God, however you want to slice it."
They were in Dachau?
I mean, I do think that that's the big question when we start to look at things that are inconveniences to us, et cetera, we want life to be better. And which is, I mean, it's not evil to want life better, but I do think our perspective, maybe our first world perspective, is a little skewed in almost in a spoiled way that we want everything to be perfect. If only this didn't happen, then I'd be better. And which is obviously the wrong attitude. We have to turn that around and look inwardly. Why are we fighting it? Why are we looking at these things being bad when God created it after the fall or not? It's his creation right now. We have to look at the good and try to find the positive more, because it's not going to make life better when we just complain about everything all the time. Nothing will get accomplished. We're not going to bring people to Christ more. I think a fresh mindset probably would help a whole lot.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast. It might have been the Bible Project. I think it was, when they were talking about one of the hosts. I think it was John. He said, but God said in the beginning, everything was really good. It was very, very good. He goes, isn't that perfect? And so Tim Mackey says, that's not what perfect means in the Bible. Perfect means completed. Good means set and ready to go. So are we expecting the world to be perfect? Then it will be when it's completed. We're not there yet.
Yeah, right. But it's good and ready to go.
Yeah.
Do you think, on that note, do you think there are maybe social distractions that we as Christians should remove from our lives to better our alignment with things that we complain about? It's almost like having an echo chamber. If we're in a group of people that hate flies suck. Oh yeah, I think they're horrible. Yeah, we all do. Let's kill all flies. And I'm sure in podcasts before I mentioned it, but the idea of social media, and there's some good in it, but there's a lot of bad in it. And one of the bad is that you create little social echo chambers that everyone agrees with you on everything. And so we get to love the things we love and hate the things we hate, no fighting back. And I'm not sure society is best run that way. I mean, I think you made allusions to it, Dennis, before when, before 2016, you have a different political view than someone else. It's like, I disagree with you. And anyways, let's have a beer. Right. It's like, so what? So what? You have different political views. But now if I have a different political view than someone else, I'm ostracized by that community. It's so weird.
It's because you're evil.
Yeah.
You're inherently evil, and there's no grace, and you just have a different opinion than me.
Yeah. A wrong one.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Your opinion isn't different. It's wrong. And it's an empty hole that we have dug ourselves, and that we are continually digging deeper. I don't see us ever hitting the bottom and going, okay, let's focus on moving up and not deeper down into the pit.
It's a scary thought, because you look at all the technology, and I love technology, but if you look at the technology and what it's doing, I don't see anything that's pushing us towards unity, anything that is going to, let's be more forgiving. Let's be more loving towards others. Yeah. Everything is made to be easier, more convenient, something that pleases us. And that's rarely something that's always good for us.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed, and I've mentioned this in the past, but to me, what we've ended up with is like an Altoids universe now, that everything is like super intense. We went from certs, in the 70s, which had a nice cinnamon flavor, a nice peppermint flavor. And then Altoids were introduced, and they were super intense, and oh my gosh, and like you can barely eat them. And now certs doesn't exist pretty much anymore.
I don't think they do.
You can use that metaphor. You can just translate that right over to media, that everything is distilled down to its most violent essence, and however you might want to interpret that, and that there's no subtlety.
Yeah, it's to get clicks.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's easy because it's so it's kind of vibrant and just very jittery. It's kind of exciting, and it's easy to say, "Yeah, I agree with them," and then you're like, "Oh, wait a minute, that is really ungodly."
Yeah. I've gotten to the point when I'm looking at a feed and I see the word bombshell or breaking news, I'll just skip over it. Okay,
bye-bye. That's it. Bye-bye. Let's have some subtlety in our walk here.
Bombshell,
yeah. So the last thing I have to ask, because we are the church, we have a role in society, where we should have a role in society anyways. Do you think that the role that the church does play, that we're kind of missing the mark? Because if the world is seeing all this stuff that's bad, aren't we supposed to be the world, as to the world, showing the good in it? Because we have a fallen world, but we have a savior. And it seems like if we can point out the fallen world, yes, the world is fallen. We are in sin. There's negative stuff. But the good news is,
well, I don't think the world sees it as good news. I mean, anything that contradicts me, my desire, my pretense, my direction is wrong. It's evil. I'm me. I'm an individual. And so I don't think the world wants to hear that you're a sinner.
Oh, no. Well, society has said we're all winners.
Right. Everybody gets a trophy.
And our job when we do that, when we go to the breweries, our job is not to preach to them. Our job is to listen to them. Hopefully, Liz and I were talking about this before with other people. Our job, hopefully, is that we plant a seed in them, something in their craw that makes them think about the questions, how they answered it, and perhaps listen to the podcast and maybe get some insight. The point is that we're looking at the world and we're seeing. And Dennis, we were talking about you the other day. Is that you, as a pastor, you pastor Christians. And when you started going to the brewery, and we would hear stories from Liz and I saying, "Oh no, it's the people they don't even know who God is, this and that," and you didn't think we're lying, but it became real to you. It was kind of shocking when at this point now we've had about a year of doing these podcasts and we've talked to many, many people. Has your view changed on society from this?
No. And it's only because we have a certain demographic that we're dealing with. We're dealing with people in a brewery. That's middle America, and that could be the pulse, but I don't give up. I was just at last Sunday down in Waterbury at Feed Me Ministries, which just feeds the homeless on this little parcel of land in the middle of Waterbury downtown, tent city right over the wall, people doing drugs. And I looked at how many volunteers were there, and it gives me encouragement that there's still this thread in society that relies on God, believes in God, believes that God can heal, can change, can transform, and are willing to put that time and effort into seeing that come to fruition. Even in the slowness of that process, because, these homeless people, they come every week. They haven't changed their situation at all, but there's still this sense of it doesn't matter. We're going to keep loving them, keep pressing into them, keep sharing God with them. And so that brings me hope. That brings me, we're out of this environment and now we're in this environment, and they're two very different environments. What saddens me is there seems to be either God or no God. There's no medium. There's no, I believe in God, and I think, I've heard the Jesus story, and there's either, yep, I believe in God and amen, hallelujah, bananas are on sale, or evil doesn't exist, I don't believe in Satan. It doesn't seem to be any thought process leading people in either direction. It's either I'm over here, praise God, and you need to do what I say you should do because I know God, or the God who.
I would just say that is encouraging, but at the same time, I would like to see the church as a whole be more proactive about that, to go out more and tell people about, yes, the world is evil, but we have a solution. We have an answer.
Yeah, and Jesus saying, the harvest is upon us. There's a lot of stuff to collect, and we need more workers out there. And when you compare what Jesus says there, and I hate to beat a dead horse, but in the book of Jonah, all the people were they were despots, and they were just they had monstrous lives. And the moment they were faced with the reality of God, they immediately said, oh yeah, God's cool. And they immediately said, yes, we believe in this God now, much to the chagrin of Jonah. But if the harvest is ready, the people will respond. So we just need some people out there just willing to
and by those people.
The challenge is there's plenty of people out there. They're just not harvesting.
Well, those people are us.
And the church. Yeah.
And we're out there.
Let that be a good way to end the podcast. And let's just go out there. We have a lot of saving to do through Jesus. Amen. Tune in next episode when you'll hear Dennis say,
I've never peed in a bottle.
Hey, awesome listener. If you're enjoying our podcast, give us a little love, like, share, follow, and snag this episode for later. It's the easiest way to keep the good times rolling and make our day. You're the best. Thank you.